Hello BookTube, it's Ben here from the History Fella channel. Today I thought I'd do a tag because I found one on someone else's BookTube channel, so I thought I'd give that a go. If you visit Book Time with Ryan, he has his own BookTube channel, and this is obviously where I found the book tag. But if you go along and visit Book Time with Ryan, he's got about 100 subscribers, maybe a little bit more. But please go along, check out his channel, and feel free to subscribe. He's got some really interesting books, and he covers quite a wide range as well. So certainly pop along and have a look at what he's got. Anyway, the book tag is the seven deadly sins, and I've got all the sins. I've got them down here on my screen. So if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking for. First of all, greed. What is your most inexpensive book, and what is your most expensive book? I suppose it depends really on what you class as inexpensive and expensive. I mean, I've had quite a few books now that have been cheap, or I've got from charity shops and that sort of thing, or have been donated. So I suppose inexpensive books, if you look at a recent video I made about Max Hastings, I was a friend of mine called Linda. Her husband sadly died, and she was looking to make a bit more space, so she's given me about 7 or 8 Max Hastings books. But there is a video that I did, I think last week, about them, so they were all free, so that's what I kind of class as the inexpensive ones. And the most expensive book, I think I spent one on the American West. What was it called? It was called Just the West, and I think it was by someone called Jeffrey C. Ward. It was a really good book. One of these like big paper, big photographic type books. But that was really good. I spent about £45 for that when I was a student. I've got a folio book on Indians, which I really like. That was expensive as well. I mean, I'm not going to spend more than sort of 45-50 quid on a book, so I mean that's kind of my financial limit. If we're just going by sentimental or that sort of thing rather than money, this book here is a book about heraldry, and I received this, actually it says on the inside, I think it says on the inside, to Ben, Christmas 88, love from Nana and Grandad. And my granddad's no longer with us, so it was from him that I learnt my love of history. So I always used to like going around to their house, and in his little study he'd always be painting and drawing heraldic figures and surnames and that sort of thing, and that's kind of where I picked up the history book bug. So yeah, that's my favourite book, and that is what I'd class as an expensive book, because it means a lot to me, that one. Right, Wrath. What author do you have a love-hate relationship with? I don't think I really hate anybody. I really like Dee Brown. all the books he wrote on the West and the US cavalry and his history books I've always liked. I can't think of a book of his that I haven't liked. Hate's a strong word, but I dislike, although he is a good writer, I dislike, there's a gentleman or writer in this country called Dilip Sarkar, or should I say Dilip Sarkar MBE. I'm not really, he's a good writer, I'll happily admit that, but I once wrote a book review about one of his books in which I complimented him on his book and said it was thoroughly good, but because I'd spelt his surname slightly wrong, in that I'd put an E instead of an A, he seemed to find that offended him. So there you go. They say people with little minds. Anyway, next one, Gluttony. What book have you deliciously devoured over and over with no shame whatsoever? I would say it's another D. Brown book. Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. I read that as a teenager and it really struck a chord with me how the Indian nation suffered. And I've read that for a good 6, 7, 8 times. It's a really good book and I really enjoy reading it. So if I ever have nothing to read, then that's usually the book I'll go to. What book have you neglected reading due to laziness? Sloth. I'm one of these people that likes to read lots and lots every day, and I believe in you should learn something new every day. So I wouldn't say I don't read through laziness. I'd say a hard book for me to read. In fact, I've got one I've got to read soon. It's called The Elizabethan Conquest of Ireland. It's a very good book, but it's a huge chunky book about that thick. And it's a really good book, and the writing is really good. It's just that I seem to have this mental block when it comes to reading about monarchs and the different characters and all the names and that, and just sometimes it's a bit slow and harder to read, so I'm finding problems with that one at the moment, but I'll get through it. Pride. What book do you most talk about in order to sound like a very intellectual reader? I don't think there's any book. I don't feel the need to sound intellectual about anything, so I know I'm an intellectual person anyway, so there's no reason for me to brag. So lust. What attributes do you find most attractive in male or female characters? Well, as I don't really read non-fiction, but I don't normally read fiction books. I can do you a non-fiction version in that I like, if they were female, I like strong, opinionated women who are confident in themselves. And I suppose the same in men. If someone's opinionated or has a viewpoint and I respect them, that's probably kind of as close as I can get. So in all people is if they're strong, confident, know what they're on about. They're the kind of characters I like reading about, or I admire outside of reading circles. Lust. Oh no, just on that one. Envy. The last one. What books would you most like to receive as a gift? I'm going to say any books, preferably non-fiction. But if you can find me a good history book and I enjoy, particularly if I enjoy that part of history, I'll really be thankful and I'll happily read it from cover to cover. So, and it doesn't have to cost anything. You know, quite a few history books I find I were picked up in charity shops or jumble sales, car boot sales, that sort of thing. So it doesn't have to be an expensive book to be a good book. So there we go, there's the 7 deadly sins. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you feel the need to do this tag as well, by means do it. Let me know in the link below, a link to your video, and I'll happily come along and have a look. But anyway, that's my 7 deadly sins tag. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. And I shall see you very soon in the next video. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time.